Hello, World of Tank Blitzers. It's a Littlefinger. Hey, doing a full tank review here on the Progetto 46. This is a Tier 8 Italian medium tank that resides in the European Tech Tree line. And yes, it's back in stores. You can see here, it was originally for sale for $10,000. So the base price has now come down to $85,000. If you can hold off on this tank, I'm sure it will be back in stores for $7,500 gold. That's not a lot of money in US dollars, $24 roughly for the 8,500 gold option here. Stepping up to the 10,000, you do get all 9 equipment slots unlocked. You get an avatar. There is no premium camo on this. You do get 10.5x EXP booster. So we'll talk about this tank and whether or not I think it's worth 8,500 gold at the moment. Real quick, my setup: consumables, repair kit, engine boost, and multi-purpose. We're running cheese head, improved fuel, and cinnamon roll. Ammunition 29, 15, 7, making sure to buy that with the credits button. Equipment, you're going to notice early pen on this tank is not great. That's one of the few downsides to the tank. So calibrated shells, defense system, you're going to want to go with improved optics. Not sure why the camo net on there. An enhanced gun lane drive, improved assembly, engine accelerator, vertical stabilizer, toolbox, and consumable delivery system. And the two really that I think might be in question, depending upon your playstyle, is going to be the enhanced gun lane drive versus supercharge. If you're using this more as a sniper, which I don't know if that's really what the tank is designed for, you're probably going to want to increase that supercharged so you don't lose as much pen over distance. But I'm driving this tank pretty aggressively, which is why I like the vertical stabilizer and the enhanced gun lane drive. And again, if you're sniping a little bit more, you're not so much on the move, then you want to get that refined gun well below 0.3 to 0.285. Using blitzhanger.com here just to go through the stats on this tank. I've got the provisions and equipment set up as I discussed there in the first section. The tank has 1484 in hit points, putting it in the top half. The armor, though, is horrendous. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The DPM at 2272 puts you 6 out of 26 tanks, the Tier 8 medium tanks. It's good. We're going to talk a little bit more about DPM and how you can maximize that even more. Pen, like I said, is horrible on this tank. It is probably the one downside, and you'll definitely see that in some of the replays that I'm going to show. The velocity is not great either, but again, I play this more aggressively, so it doesn't really come into play too much. And so what I wanted to get into first is the active auto reloading system. You've got 3 shells in the magazine. First shell loads at 6.3 seconds, 4.9 seconds, and 4.9 seconds, which means that once you're fully loaded, you can get 2 shots off at 2.5 seconds because this is the time before the next shell is ready. You can get 3 shells off in 7.5 seconds. When you add in the fact here, sorry about this, damage at 240, you're looking at close to 500 to 750 damage in about 2.5, 5 seconds. So the burst damage on this is what makes this tank something special, really. And because of these reload times, you really want to try to stay just in bursts of 2, if at all possible. Obviously, it depends upon how the game plays out in front of you. Gun handling is very good. Dispersion there is at 0.317 is certainly workable. Obviously, you could change the equipment to get that a little bit lower if you need to. 9 degrees of gun depression, wonderful. Speed on this is great. Like I said, 55 kilometers per hour, 20 in reverse as your top speeds. But we'll get down here and talk about the armor a little bit. As you can see, you've got spaced armor on the sides, but look at this, all this light yellow. It's paper thin everywhere else. The only thing that really does save you is this spaced armor. So this strip on the hull is completely pennable by anyone just about with HE, as is the side of the turret. So we're going to get into some gameplay now. Okay, guys, first game on Canal Supremacy, bottom tier. Before we get started, please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all those great things to help me get noticed by more and more of you guys on YouTube and help me put out content like this. So first, my main goal here is going to be talking about this auto reloading system. It's obviously fairly new to the game, and if you don't quite understand, what it does is it completely goes from an empty clip to a full clip, one shell at a time. Whereas a regular auto loader goes from empty to full, and you have to wait a very long time. Now, you'll notice that it says 5 seconds. That is the reload time on the second shell and the third shell. Here, I purposely did not empty my third and final shell because the reload time on that empty third shell is almost 7 seconds, where the reload time on the second and the third shell here is 4.7 seconds. So if you can stay with one clip in the tank, your DPM is actually going to be higher than advertised, right? So once you take your shot, you've got 2.5 seconds for the next shell to be available. And then you'll see the counter start counting down as it loads whatever shell it is that you've just shot. So here we go. We're now reloading that second shell, reloading the third shell. And that's the great thing about the auto reloader, is that you don't have to make that decision. I'm going to take 16, 20 seconds to reload a full clip. It's doing it for you, and really all you're managing is what shot you're going to stay in. The difficulty is, waiting for, say, like that second shell to reload so that you don't accidentally wait almost a complete reload, but then you end up firing, the shell that's not quite loaded. That's the only downside. So the beginning of that battle was kind of a good way for me to try to talk and explain through it. If you've got questions, please put them down below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. But as you see, our team, we had a good team. If you noticed, we had Fobo, Triari. It was just a good team, and I think this game was probably one of those predetermined games. But notice here how I come in, and I'm going to take my 3 shots straight away, just empty my clip, and finish off this VK. Obviously, he was the one holding up my team from rounding the corner, and by getting him out of the game allows my team then to quickly come in and help me finish off the K91. And so the lovely thing about autoloaders or these active reloading systems is you can have some really big games and you don't even really realize it because you're constantly shooting. And that's what you'll find in this tank. So as we skip on over here to Yamato Harbor, again, bottom tier, this game is going to be a lot more driving. You'll get an idea a little bit more about the maneuverability. So those are obviously the 2 main keys for this premium tank, right? You've got 175% credit coefficient, so you're making a lot more credits than you would in a regular tech tree tank. You've got the active reloading system, and you've got the mobility of a very light mobile tank, 55 kilometers per hour as your top speed. But keep in mind, the armor is pretty paper thin. You do have spaced armor on the sides, but anyone with good aim can pen HE pretty much into the side of the turret or the upper part of your hull. So the T92 here and I are going to have a great game. This is certainly one of those fun games that you really enjoy. And we notice quite quickly that they've all gone onto the ship, but I've only seen 4 maybe 5 reds. There's still 2 that I haven't seen. They could be right here in the very back. I was surprised this T-92 pushed as hard as he did. And, you know, he spotted up this Indian Panzer. And I got to say here, a great player would have tracked him, been able to kill him with their second shot. Me, I'm not such a great aimer, so, you know, I kind of gonna miss out on the kill here. Alright, so now we get into a situation where this tank, where we know the enemy team is all on or around the boat. They're pushing through into the heavy side, and it's a matter of isolating tanks and taking the weakest targets out one at a time, right? So to me, this WZ, I figured he was driving back to that T-92. Quite fortunate here to use my speed and get around him, and obviously pin him up against the wall here, and we get our 4th shot into him, I believe, and finish him off. Now we're going to quickly back around the building just in case anyone was pushing, and we're going to allow ourselves time to get a full clip reloaded. IS-3 has just shot, so I know I have 12 to 13 seconds to get in here and get a shot off. Now, I was hoping that I could squeeze by him. This was a poor decision on my part. But you can see there's a lot of red there. And playing these ISs, you will bounce shots from time to time. But now I'm just, I know he's got his eyes on the Charioteer, and I'm just backing myself into cover, hoping I can get shots. The ST1 there, but Charioteer runs in front of my shot, unfortunately. So again, now we've got ourselves in a position where, yeah, we can wait. We're going to wait to reload, and I took that shot too early, if you notice. So I should have waited another 1/10 or so of a second. Basically wasting time on that reload. So that's a good example of how not to pull out and shoot until that 3rd shot is loaded and ready to go. It's kind of interesting here. T-92 and I both had the same ideas, just in opposite directions. I was coming to help him. I think he was coming to help me. And, you know, not being spotted, here I go. I get spotted. That Foch is turning. And this is the lovely thing about this tank. Look how fast we get 3 shots in 5 seconds there and finish him off. So here you get to see the maneuverability, the driving, escapability, if you will, of this tank. Just trying to use this hard cover to get into safety, and obviously buy time to get reloaded, right? So gonna need a little bit of help here. I can take, you know, 1 shot from each of these guys pretty safely, and that T-92 comes through with the kill. So I know now that I can rush this IS-3 as long as the T-92 is with me. And so I'm expecting him actually to follow behind me, but somehow he manages to get this shot in, which I was really surprised about right there. But here are my 3 shots on the move, APCR, and finish him off there for our 3rd kill of the battle. And you can see that T-92 with also 3 kills, 3,600 damage, level 1 mastery. So really nice, fun little battle with some good maneuverability. And we'll just finish that with one more battle here on Mayan Ruins. God, this map is killing me lately. I've been making so many bad decisions, getting stuck in the middle. But here we are. It seems like I'm getting it like every 3rd battle. Alright, so we're going to push on around to C. I'm going to have support with me. We are actually top tier. Obviously another supremacy game. So you saw how wonderful this tank moves. Really didn't show much about getting shot, taking too much damage. People don't tend to shoot HE at it, which I'm kind of surprised. Obviously, you can take a lot of damage here, but this is one thing I just love about it. Look, we can get 3 shots in here, set a fire, almost 1,000 damage in such a short amount of time. I've overextended here, and I really, again, this is another, you saw that third shell was almost loaded. I should have just waited until the third shell was loaded, and I've cut myself out quite a few seconds there of potential being able to shoot. We're gonna take a big shot there from, I think, that VK. That one went into the tracks. That was a little bit of a shame. But I think right here, in the next series of shots here, you get a better idea of this reloading system. Kind of rushed that shot, which was a bad idea. And then, the Type 59 is showing me his side, and so I can empty my clip, and then I can just pull on down the hill here. If this VK pushes me, I'm just going to wait until I'm fully reloaded, and then I'm going to put 3 shots into him. But he's distracted, so I can pull up and into the lower plate there. There's 1. There's 2. Now I'm thinking, let's play this just on the second and third shots. Let's get these next 2 loaded. Let's get in now. But we missed out on the kill. It's just bad timing. Not much you can do there. And I want to get in on the IS-3, and you'll see here just a little bit of the difficulty penning the Soviet heavy tank. So this is AP to the front. That's a lot of red, and yeah, we do bounce. So make sure you go underneath that spaced armor towards the track and get the next 2 in with just regular AP. So another 3K battle. Obviously not all my battles were 3K battles, but these allowed me to show you the benefits of this tank. It is a fun tank, 8,500 gold. If you have it, spend it. Definitely, you won't regret it. But I think you can wait a few more months. It'll be back for 7,500 gold a little bit later. So guys, with that, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.